Well, hello again, welcome back to Fishing for Memories. As you can probably tell, I'm out on the river fishing. Decided to get out today because A, it's quite a mild day, and we've had a few frosts recently, and temperature today's nice, but I was in two minds whether to come out because, as you probably know, there's been quite a bit of forecasts for heavy winds to the north of England, and whilst they're not hitting 80 miles an hour down the south, they are forecast later today to be hitting 40 mile to 42 mile an hour gusts. So I was a bit, worried about that. Although it was mild, I didn't want to get blown away or my umbrella taken with it. But I decided to say, damn it, I'm just going to get out. I mean, why not? What I've got here, let's see, just a light feeder mix. It's a light feeder mix there, as you can probably see. That's a little bit different because I'll go on to what bait I'm using today to elaborate on why this is a bit different. That's very lightly mixed, not too dense. I didn't use vitamin today. The reason why I went for a light mix is because I didn't want to overfeed the fish, obviously. Obviously, as you can probably see, there's maggots in there, there's also casters in there. Right, what else is in there is sardines. I use tin sardines and tomato sauce. There's 2 tins of that in there to add a nice fishy flavour, and that's going to lead me on to what I'm using on one of my rods. I'm going to be using a feeder and filling it with this, and as bait I'm going to be using tin sardine tomato sauce, because in the past that's been a very good bait for me. I've had some very nice chub on it and nice barbel. Also on other still waters I've had some nice carp. Obviously it's no good if your venue you're fishing is actually got a lot of crayfish in it. As a bait then it would need to be made into a boilie or something similar, as straight out of the tin the crayfish and whatnot will actually muller it, as I'm sure you're aware. So I'm chancing my arm a bit there. I haven't made the sardine into a paste, I've not made it into boilies or anything like that. It's going to be straight out of the tin, and what it's going to be, I cut the sardine in half straight out the tin. I specifically use sardines in tomato sauce because I always feel it gives off a nice scent trail, a nice bit of coloration when it hits the water. So what I tend to do, I use half a sardine, and they were kept in the freezer overnight so that when I come out with them they're a bit harder to actually begin with. What I usually do then is I place them on the hook and then lightly whip round elastic, or if I haven't got any elastic at the time, a little bit of cotton, and then that's just tied on nice and tight. And that usually keeps it on quite well, but as I say, it's been a few years since I've used it, and a lot of the river venues these days have got a lot of crayfish, and this Thames tributary, sadly, these days, is no different to the likes of the Kennet and some stretches of the Thames, and it has got quite a few crayfish. So, if they do play me up and they actually knacker my bait, I have actually brought other baits with me. I've got a multitude of other baits just in case that does happen. Obviously I've got maggots, which are always good this time of year for the old barbel and chub, and the ever faithful cheese paste. That's made with a mixture of short crust pastry, mature cheddar, and blue cheese, and I also mix a bit of parmesan in with that as well, which is also very good for the chub. I've also got boilies and some betone pellets with me, but as I say, I will be sticking to the sardine first and foremost, and fingers crossed the old crayfish aren't too much of a pain. The spot I'm fishing today is quite a nice little spot. It's what you call a nice glide. There's a nice bend in the river where it sweeps through, and there's nice little runs of gravel either side. I'm going to fish the feeder rod with the sardine to the far bank margin, and my other rod I'm going to go on a boilie wrapped in matching paste, and that'll be placed to the near bank margins, just downstream. Both nice areas, really nice gullies. Like all the rivers this season, it's not at its most highest levels, which I prefer it to be a lot higher than it is, but the pools that I'm fishing, they have a better frequency of depth than the other areas. Anyway, I'm going to go and get set up now and have a cup of coffee and see how it gets on. I'll catch you later on with an update, and we'll see how it goes. Tight lines. Hello again, welcome back. Just thought I'd show you the way I mount the sardine. It's just over half a piece of sardine, tin sardine, in tomato sauce. The reason why I keep stressing that is because I do favour the ones in tomato sauce more. So if you might be able to see, I don't know if you can. I used a light black cotton there. Blends in with the colour of the sardine skin. And that's just whipped round, as you can probably see it there, it's whipped round the sardine. The hook is just placed in here, and then it's whipped round with the cotton and tied off. As I say, obviously if crayfish are about, they're going to muller that. I'm hoping that they're not really. Might be a bit of a fool's errand, but I do really love it as a bait in its raw style, straight out of the tin. And that's about it really. Just a case of filling the feeder up, that's a 2 ounce. And getting it cast out. Thread and sink braid there of £12, and a size 8 Gardener Talon tip. They are very, very favourable hooks with me. Had numerous fish on them, been very reliable and very, you know, like anything, the hook's a confidence thing, and the Gardeners give me that confidence. I'm yet to have any problems with them, and I find them very reliable. Anyway, I just want to show you the way it's mounted. So obviously that's nicely done. Remember, you don't want too much cotton or elastic on it, because you do want to obviously penetrate the fish, and last thing you want to have happen is as you strike, the hook moving up and getting covered in cotton, affecting your actual hooking of the fish and hook hold. Anyway, just thought I'd show you the way it's mounted, and I'll catch you later on. Fingers crossed there's some fish about, not too many crays. See you soon. Wind's already starting to get quite gusty. The umbrella's been spinning about even though I got it pegged down. If that's now, I hate to see, well, it's going to be around about 4 or 5 o'clock when the worst wind's going to hit. Yeah, so a little bit worried about that. More worried about the umbrella. Got a tendency when the winds are like this, usually when I'm out and it's like this, I tend to go through the odd umbrella, and last thing I want is a wrecked umbrella, obviously. But I mean, it's nice and mild. Not long after I got both the rods out, I heard a little splash just upstream of me, and it didn't really sound like a fish. I weren't too sure. I had a look upstream, couldn't see anything. I sat back down, decided to have sarnie, and as I was eating that, bold as brass, the first time I've seen one on this particular stretch of the tributary, I had a full-size adult otter swum straight across basically where my rods are cast, about 3 or 4 metres in front of me. Full-size adult otter, didn't even bat an eyelid as it went by, didn't seem perturbed, and just moseyed on by. And I've got to say that, as nice as they are, that kind of dents my confidence. Having one swim right across where your baits are out, it's not really something you'd call confidence booster. I did actually consider, just for a little while, moving and going to another spot, but I thought, well, I'm going to be here for a few hours, drop some bait in, hopefully he's gone and moseyed off, and just stick it out. I'm going to give it a go here because I did really want to fish this spot. But two things, obviously it's not got as much shelter as some of the other spots that I fish, and the wind's really starting to cut across already, and that otter coming across to the front of the rods really does make me wonder if he's going to spook any decent fish, because if there is any good barb or chub, yeah, the wind's just cutting across the top of the rod there quite hard. If there is any good barb or chub about, they won't be sticking around if there's a knot swimming about. So, but I'm going to carry on and give it a go still in this spot. I just thought I'd keep you updated with that. I was actually quite shocked to see an otter. I know that I had been told that on other areas of this tributary that people had started seeing otters. So, but I hadn't seen one until now. I've always seen plenty of mink. But there you go. Anyway, I'm going to crack on, and hopefully the otter's not spooked any quality fish that are about, although I do wonder. Anyway, I'll catch you later on. See you soon. condition. I mean, this particular tributary doesn't have many bream, but over the years that I fished it, I would say it's the bream that it has got on the whole are is a nice stamp of mature fish as such. As I say, that was on the freezer bait. That was a black snail boilie central bait, and it's been, I tell you, it's been blowing something chronic, really windy and raining heavy as well. So nice to get this fish. The net slipped under it. The bream. Seeing that, as you can probably tell, it's in lovely condition. I'll just bring it up a bit closer. Look at that. Isn't that an immaculate fish? Nice chunky 8-pound slab. Makes for a nice blustery December evening. Anyway, I'm going to get it slipped back. I wasn't too confident after seeing that otter early on, and with the wind gusting about and the rain, I was wondering, am I going to get anything? And that nice 8-pound bream come along, and it was in lovely condition. Really nice looking bream, pretty pristine, immaculate condition, and very enjoyable to catch. I'm not sure how many more trips I'm going to get out before Christmas hits and I'm a bit too busy. I hopefully will try to get out over Christmas as well, all being well, and do a few more videos. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the video and the footage, and I'll catch you in my next video, hopefully. Until then, it's tight lines from me, and cheerio.